Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us for our first San Francisco Out of the Darkness experience. I'm David Pinio, your continuing MC. COVID can't get rid of me either. I want to ask everyone for your patience if we have any glitches or issues happening as we go along. If you would like to, and I would like you to, please let us know in the comments where y'all are joining us from today. As we get the program started, we'd like to share a message from AFSP's CEO, Bob Gebbia.
I'm Bob Gebbia, CEO of the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and it's an honor for me to welcome you to the Out of the Darkness experience. A heartfelt thanks goes to all of you, our amazing friends and supporters, for participating in this event and for raising awareness and funds for suicide prevention. Now, clearly, much has changed since last year's Out of the Darkness community walk. It's a challenging time. And on behalf of all of us at AFSP, our thoughts are with you and your families during this pandemic. We hope you are staying safe and healthy. And I can assure you the pandemic has not deterred AFSP from its work. We've adapted our life-saving programs, delivering them virtually, wherever and whenever possible, including Talk Saves Lives, our most used public education program. From the start of the pandemic, AFSP has been a leading voice about caring for one's mental health, using traditional and social media to convey messages about self-care, that physical distancing doesn't mean social isolation, and about staying in treatment or seeking treatment through telemental health. Now, we continue to make progress across all areas of our work. Our investment in research has continued with 38 new studies funded since the start of the pandemic. We reached 1 million people during May Mental Health Month with our hashtag #RealConvo campaign. And in June, we launched new Seize the Awkward public service ads to empower teens and young adults to help a friend who is struggling. We held 38 state advocacy days since last fall, and the first ever virtual federal advocacy, where we had 1,400 participants from 50 states contact their members of Congress to support improved crisis services for people in emotional distress. And as an organization, we are speaking out about the inequities in access to mental health care, in particular for communities of color, and we continue to advocate for ending all health care disparities. Our interactive screening program continues to be used in schools and workplaces, giving people a safe and anonymous way to reach out for support. Since the start of the program, we've connected over 180,000 people to help they would not have otherwise sought. And when suicide does occur, AFSP is there to support the families and friends with programs and resources. This year alone, we will host more than 400 International Survivors of Suicide Loss Day events to offer comfort and support. None of this work would be possible without all of you and hundreds of thousands of others. We need you to be involved because our work is more critical than ever. Based on the latest CDC data, the suicide rate in the U.S. continues to trend up. And we are concerned that the isolation and grief and economic impact of the pandemic could contribute to further loss of life from suicide. But we believe an increase in suicide isn't inevitable. And with greater investment in mental health care and suicide prevention now, we can avert any increase and save many lives. Your participation in this event is lifting up those who struggle with thoughts of suicide, and you are remembering loved ones who we've lost, sons and daughters, siblings and parents, spouses, partners, and friends. The involvement of each of you is so critical to our mission of saving lives and bringing hope to those affected by suicide. Everything AFSP is doing is a direct result of your willingness to get involved. I hope you will stay involved. Because of you, we are able to fight for a day when no one will die by suicide. I look forward to seeing you all in person at an event sometime in the future. But until then, thank you and stay safe.
Wow, we appreciate Bob for sharing his message with us. He's one of the nicest, greatest people I've met. Couple shout outs here. We got people coming from Pleasanton, King Josh. Just reading through some comments. Even got some people currently walking down Main Street. Make sure you got your masks on. It's pretty unhealthy out there. I don't know if I'd advise it. We got some Antica, Anderson, some awesome stuff. San Mateo. Well, of course, this is definitely a time of uncertainty, but is also a time that proves the importance of connectivity. Right now, it's more important than ever that we pay attention to and take care of our own and others' physical and mental well-being. I hope you're taking care of yourselves, checking in with your family and friends, finding ways to stay active during this time. Well, maybe, as I just mentioned, being out there in the smoke is probably not the best of things, but our hopes and thoughts are out there to you all. If you know someone, or if you yourself are struggling, please remember these numbers and add them to your phones. The Suicide Prevention Lifeline is 1-800-273-8255, and 741-741 is the number for the crisis text line. You can text the word "talk" to them and they can help you. These numbers again, 1-800-273-TALK, or text the word "talk" to 741-741. Excuse me. Plus, we're excited. The new 3-number digit 988, a direct line, was approved by the FCC and will be coming soon. Great advances are happening. And with that, great advances, I'd like to know how people are staying connected during this time. So put some comments out there, get some going. I know my wife, Karen, and I, we've been making time for some family communications, whatever they need, trying to stay present daily. I do some meditation, getting out there a little bit in nature, right? We were up in Sonoma a couple weeks ago, a lot of smoke still going on. Practicing our masks and social distancing, but the barbecuing we've been doing on the new grill, it's been the best. Get yourself a smoker and stuff. Let's see. So by joining us today, you're sending the message that our cause of suicide prevention will never be canceled, because it can't be. We cannot let another day go by without showing that mental health is as real as physical health. Your showing offers others that suicide, which is currently the 10th leading cause of death in the U.S., can no longer be ignored. Suicide is a health issue that affects us all. You are part of a national movement, and today you are also showing that we do not need to be together in person to raise our voices to prevent suicide. Today is a day to reflect, to remember those we have lost, to stand with those with lived experience, and to raise awareness and funds for suicide prevention. We thank those of you who are here to support someone who struggles and has lost a loved one to suicide, and those who are here because you have lived experience yourselves with these issues. And our voices together are changing the way we talk about suicide prevention and mental health in our country. Before we begin, I'd like to take time to acknowledge the emotion that happens around this event. I always myself get a little choked up. You'll continue to hear it. Those of you who have been with us for the years, should be nothing new for you or myself. But if you know someone or yourself have some emotional issues, please check in. We have a team standing by in Zoom. You go to zoom.com, click on the join a meeting, and enter the code 929-6810-0555, and the password is 444527. We should pop this up a few times as we're going along. Where am I? I'm right here. Okay, so let's get things rolling. Kick it off. I'd like to introduce the new and exciting AFSP area director to the Greater Bay Area. Say a few words. A warm welcome, please, for the charming and ever so awesome Andy Brunig.
Excellent, Dave. Thank you so much for introducing me. Thank you for the warm welcome. And I have to admit, we've brought out the barbecue a few times recently as well, and it's surprisingly good weather for it. But I just wanted to say good morning, everyone. I'm actually going to leave up the Zoom meeting ID while I talk, because I do think it's important to jot down if, as we're navigating our experiences today, if we find ourselves in a complex or difficult emotional experience, I encourage you to jump into the Zoom. There's a really incredible group of people there that are happy to chat and happy to help you work through some of the difficulties that you might be feeling. As Dave mentioned, my name is Andy Brunig, and I'm the Area Director for the Greater Bay Area with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. And I oversee the suicide prevention efforts in about 16 counties, so the northwest corner of California. But really, I'm not here today to talk about me. I'm here to talk about us, because Out of the Darkness is a special time for us all. Because regardless of how we began our journeys, and regardless of the path that brought us here today, we're here together now, and we're stronger for it. And I'll acknowledge it, that none of the paths that brought us here were easy ones to walk. And there were times where it's hard to see the way forward. It's hard to take that next step. And yet here we are together as a community. It took as much perseverance as it did stubbornness sometimes. And I have to applaud the folks that had to lean on perseverance one day and stubbornness the next day and anger the day after that and sadness the day after that. Each one of those days is a step that we take together. But I'm so deeply thankful that we as a community are able to come together in this moment. Today, together, we are going to see photos. We're going to hear some incredible stories, not just from Dave, but from some of our other speakers. And we're here to both experience the grief of loss and celebration of life. And again, we're going to be doing this together. But I wanted to note that between the stories you'll hear today, there's actually a single message that I encourage you to listen for, because it's going to be found across each person we hear from. And that message that carries through me, through all of you who are out in the community right now, and through this group that's putting on the Out of the Darkness San Francisco this morning, it's that we are not alone. So I say to the survivor of suicide loss, we wear our beads with you. I will admit I'm not wearing any this morning. I wear green for some challenges I've had, and I wear purple for the loss of a friend. I unfortunately wasn't able to get them this morning, but we are wearing them with you, and you are not alone. To the student out there that's logged in this morning, discovering that there is something more than sad, that feels like this is an insurmountable space, know that you are not alone. We are here with you. To the person here today, logged in, that is facing your own challenges, your own path of difficulty, know that you are not alone. We are here, we are with you, and our community is one that is stronger together. So on this day, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for joining this morning. I want to say thank you for recruiting your friends and family to participate. I want to say thank you for raising funds to fund research in suicide prevention. And I want to say thank you for hosting those survivors of suicide loss support groups. And I want to thank you for attending the survivors of suicide loss support groups. But mostly today, I wanted to say thank you for coming to join us at Out of the Darkness, because we are moving together to stop suicide forever. I also wanted to take a moment to thank some of our corporate partners who come together with us. They are our community. They are our brothers and sisters in this. They are with us in this moment, and they are with us in this movement. So as we progress, I'm actually going to take the Zoom information down so that we can celebrate some of the supporters that we have. Providence, who has been a longtime supporter and has shown a deep commitment to suicide prevention across the Greater Bay Area. We are excited to introduce Sequoia, a new partner who we celebrate as they join us not only in San Francisco with us in this community, but also in Arizona and New York and beyond. We welcome Discovery Mood and Anxiety, another new partner who has shown their deep dedication to suicide prevention in Northwest California by, again, not just sponsoring San Francisco's Out of the Darkness, but Sacramento's as well. Sutter Health Palo Alto Medical Foundation is a longtime partner whose partnership we deeply appreciate. And finally, another long-term partner that we've worked with is United Healthcare, an organization whose mission overlaps greatly with our own. It's our entire community coming together, whether it's an individual, whether it's these incredible teams that we're seeing highlighted in the comments, whether it's the committee itself that has come together and spent months of effort, and in partnership with these corporate partners that we're highlighting here today. None of us can do it alone. We as a community are stronger. We as a community are able to take these steps forward together, and by doing so, will stop suicide. So thank you for allowing me a few moments to chat and a brief soapbox. Dave, I welcome you back up. You're looking great with your Out of the Darkness swag. I've got hope today, and I'd love to hear I'd love to hear those stories that folks are putting in the comments where they're checking in from, because what you're seeing is that we are everywhere. We are a movement. Yeah. We are not just San Francisco. Suicide doesn't stop at county lines. So thank you, everyone.
Right. We go back to the days San Francisco was like the first walk of the area, and now we do so many of them throughout the whole Bay Area. It's tremendous. Thank you so much, Andy.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Bay Area and to our years to come. We're going to see what's going to go. Continue movement. And yes, so next we'd like to get everybody to take a moment to allow their mind and body to relax. You see, like you said, I put on my jacket now. I'm ready to get some movement going. So I'd like to welcome Christy Sharkey from Fight Core MMA and Fitness in Martinez to lead us in a brief muscle meditation. Thank you, Christy.
Thank you, David. Nice to see you again. Good morning, everyone. So we're just going to take a moment and just let our bodies relax, and let's clear our minds, and let's kind of get into the mindset that we need to be in, and like get through a couple of really great moments. So first, I just want you to take a nice deep inhale a couple of times, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Relax. Let it out. I don't want you to feel overwhelmed or stressed or anything. We're all linked in, and I love to see all of our neighbors here. So let's take another deep breath. One more. So we're just going to go from one spot to the next, and we're going to start with our right leg, and we're going to pull our toes up towards the ceiling, and we're going to contract and tighten all of the muscles in that leg, just one leg at a time. So start with the right, pull up, tighten, take a nice deep inhale with that, hold it for about 10 seconds. Just hold 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, release, and release it out. Switch it to the left leg, pull your toes up towards the ceiling, tighten up all the muscles, deep inhale, breathe it in, hold 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. And let's move to the glutes on both of our legs, which are the buttocks that we're sitting on. So let's just tighten those up really, really tight and pull the abs in on the lower end. And pull in, deep inhale, please. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. Good job so far. Pull in on your stomach. Try to pull your belly button towards the spine as hard as you can. Let that muscle work. Just pull, pull, pull. Inhale deep. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. And again, still continue to sit up nice and tall. Let your arms fall to their sides. And we're going to start with the right arm now and make a fist and tighten up the whole muscle. If you need to, pull up the muscle a little bit and hold. Inhale deep. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and release it down. And switch it to the other side. Make a fist. Pull all the muscles up nice and tight. And inhale deep. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. And take both the shoulders and we're going to pull them up and we're going to walk them around all the way back. And again, I had to show you my shirt. And pull back, and again, one more time. And pull back and hold this time. Squeeze nice and tight. Press the chest out. Hold. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. Good job, everyone. One more. We're going to take our chin. We're going to turn it to the right side first. Press it all the way over. And you're just going to hold. Breathe it in and out. So don't hold your breath on this one. Breathe it in and out. And then very slowly move it back to center. And you're going to take the exact same spot, only to the other side. You're turning. Breathe it in and out. Breathe in and out. And very, very slowly come back into the center. And now we're going to do a head tilt for your ear to go towards the shoulder. And just relax. Breathe it in and out. And back up to center. And other side. Ear towards the shoulder. Make sure your shoulders are nice and centered. Breathe it in and out. And back into center. And very slowly now let's take a last inhale up. This time bring your arms with you. Inhale all the way up. Stretch it up. And move it around a little bit. Reach, 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 reach. And exhale it all the way down. That is something that you can do frequently through the day if you'd like. It's good for any time, even when you're feeling like you're a little stiff and you need to move around a bit. So thank you everyone for inviting me back again. So I know it's a little bit different. Yeah. Hang in there and peace be with you.
Wow. Thank you very much again for joining us, Christy. It's always a pleasure to see you. You know, I do many of these exact exercises in my flex and stretch at work. Chairs, use my tables, everything. So greatly appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
One of the most important pieces of our Out of the Darkness events, my lovely granddaughter, Nevaeh, sweet thing, is the opportunity to share a bit of our stories, and the next speaker does this mightily. Katie Kaufman has a passion for helping others. She's been an active volunteer with AFSP for over 5 years and was our keynote speaker with us 2 years ago in Oakland, which I like to attend the Oakland Walk myself. It's a great walk, comes out of the darkness just like the overnight. She has met with both state and federal lawmakers to advocate for suicide prevention and mental health care legislation, and now has her master's degree in social work and works as a mental health crisis counselor. Everybody, please welcome Katie Kaufman. Hi, Katie.
Hi, thank you so much for being here and thank you for that great introduction. I don't think I say anything now. Well, hello everyone. Good morning and thank you for being here. My name is Katie Kaufman and I'm coming to you from San Diego today. I used to believe that the depression and the anxiety I faced each day were my Achilles heel. Speaking openly about my own struggles with mental health, sharing my story, and having real conversations has led me to a deeper understanding, not only of me, of myself, but of others as well. And it's led me to turn my Achilles heel into a source of strength and into a source of power. Only 2.5 years ago, I was asked to be the keynote speaker at the Oakland Walk. I felt super anxious just hearing that I could possibly be a speaker, sharing my vulnerable story for the first time in front of 900 strangers, most of whom had likely been connected to suicide on a personal level. And knowing that, it tugged at my heart like a 500-pound anchor sinking deeply into the most vulnerable parts of my being. It was the first time that I had ever shared my story and had ever spoken publicly. I have been an active volunteer, and I still am, with AFSP in the Northern and Southern California chapters. I was always a persistent and squeaky wheel, still am today, always asking, hey, I want to be involved, put me in, coach, I want to speak, I want to share my story, how can we make the biggest impact? I really want to do this. Help me help others. And I got a call one day, and the person said, our pre-booked speaker can't attend. Do you want to be the keynote speaker at this year's event? That moment changed my life. Without hesitation, without even being able to respond right away, I had tears of joy streaming down my face with a huge smile, and I excitedly exclaimed, yes, yes, I would love to. I would love to be your speaker. Thank you so much for letting me share my story. Put down the phone, and I realized I had 1 week to write and rehearse giving what to me felt like the most important part of our life. I had never shared my personal battles with more than a handful of people, let alone a 900-person crowd. The day came. Gosh, I remember it so vividly. It was 5 a.m. and I was nervous, chilly from the Bay Area weather, but I took several deep breaths, calmed myself down, and I walked onto that stage with confidence. I delivered my speech and shared my story with boldness, with vulnerability, and most of all, with determination to break the cycle of suicide. Immediately after sharing my story, I just felt like, this is me, world. I can breathe. I can be Katie Kaufman. I can be who I am. No more weights on my shoulders. This is the first day of my new life. And shortly thereafter, an 8-year-old boy approached me near the stage, and he thanked me for sharing my story and for inspiring him to be himself. He then shared with me that he has depression and anxiety. And this 8-year-old just sharing what he has been through and is still going through, and allowing me to be a part of his story and his life, and contributing to his self of acceptance and love and empowerment. That fueled my fire even more to keep going and keep fighting to break this cycle of suicide. We are the difference, and we can help. Together, we can do anything. It's been about 2.5 years since I gave that speech, since I publicly shared my story for the first time. What had felt most like the deepest, darkest, most hidden corners of my being, I now shine light on. I shine light onto the dark corners, and I leverage those dark corners as my sources and my pillars of strength. Instead of avoiding the hardships that life will always throw at us, I now confront them head on, face on, ready for the challenge, knowing that I have a toolbox that I can pull my tools out anytime and use to get through life, anything that is thrown at me. and I've learned to shine a light onto the dark corners. By accepting who I am, what life is throwing at me, and how I feel, I've created a safe, a non-judgmental, and a loving place for me to work through these feelings rather than avoid them. Instead of avoiding this frightening roller coaster ride of mental health and mental challenges, confronting them from a place of vulnerability that is strength has been key. And in sharing my story, I can create a safe space for others like you to share your story, to share your own experiences and your own challenges, and have real conversations about what you're going through. And for you to find strength in your Achilles heels. At this point in my life, I recognize that all of these challenges, specifically mental health challenges that I faced since I was just 14 years old, so the majority of my life, these challenges have positioned me perfectly and so well prepared to be a vessel to serve others, to be someone that can help with a long-term future of service, just like being here today with all of you. We did it together. These last 2 years, I've pushed further in my drive to help other people, as was just mentioned. I am meeting face-to-face, traveling to Washington, D.C., and to the state capitol in California for me, meeting with these legislators and these lawmakers, passionately advocating to make mental health care and suicide prevention a public policy priority at both the state and the federal levels. I recently graduated with my master's degree in social work, and I also work as a mental health counselor at a crisis house, where I provide psychosocial rehabilitation to individuals who are in a mental health crisis. The tables have turned. I used to be that person. I was the client. I was the patient. And through building a toolbox, I've been able to come to the other side and help others with the same exact things that I was going through. Building this toolbox throughout the years, I can't stress it enough. I use it when I need strength or support or reminders that I need to take care of myself. I need to tap into this healthy coping skill, do deep breathing or grounding, go for a walk, what have you. And I want to share this toolbox with all of you today. In case you don't already have one, I encourage you to build one today. Build your toolbox with things that make you feel good, things that you can just pull out and know that that's going to make you feel better. That's going to build your mastery, and you're going to be a happier person, or at least be able to manage your symptoms better because of this toolbox that you can have for the rest of your life and use it when you need strength and support. Sharing my story 2.5 years ago was the most important day of my life, and it changed my life forever. I've learned that through sharing my story, I can provide a voice to people who don't feel like they have a voice of their own, or for those who are still working on building their voice. I'm actively always seeking opportunities to work as a unified team, to collaborate, to see how together we can elevate humanity, how we can stop suicide, how we can elevate mental health legislation. Today's mission is for us to make a sustainable impact in the world of mental health. We, together, can elevate humanity. All of us here are leaders. You showed up today. You want something to change just as much as I do. And together, working together, we can and we will stop suicide. Keep going, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Katie, for openly sharing your lived experience and strength with us all. I know this issue has changed my life in thinking. I'm able to now talk aloud about things and help others, especially. It's one of the great things I love. And I know myself and many of the others out here, we all greatly appreciate what you do and what you are doing. Thank you so very much. Keep going. So we'd like to start now our honor bead ceremony. I got mine on. I wear blue, teal, and silver all the time. So I'm prior Army, and my son's in the Army. Our son is in the Army, one of our sons, and I just love my brother. But we use these to pay tribute to loved ones lost, personal struggles, victories. They come in many colors, representing the diversity of our community's connection to the cause. I'd like to thank our participants for sharing their photos and other loved ones so we can join together in a remembrance today. We've got a little honor bead ceremony, a little slideshow we're going to put together. And again, thank you all for these wonderful photos. We welcome anyone who would like to still share. If you'd like to select the Submit Photos link from our SF Experience webpage, or afsp.org/SF, and your photos will be added to the bead and remembrance videos after the Out of the Darkness events. So next, we'd like to take a couple of minutes to join in a community act of remembrance. You're invited to take part in an activity of your choosing, whether it's lighting a candle, writing or saying a few words of your loved ones, doing a message of hope, playing a meaningful song, international or intentional breathing exercises. I do those constantly. Whatever resonates with you. And I'd like to welcome at this time one of our event committee members, the lovely Brenda Doral, to share her act of remembrance. Brenda is sharing a poem and lighting a candle in honor of her twin boys, Jason and Rick. Once the candles are lit, we'll observe a minute of silence on the stream. There's Brenda. Hi, Brenda. Much love, my dear. It's great to see you.
Wonderful to see you. Thank you.
I got mine. I'm ready.
You ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready too.
Let us have it. Love you.
Love you. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. This is in remembrance of my sons, James Richard and Jason Lee, and of all of the others who have left us far too soon. You may not think that the world needed you, but it did. For you were unique, like no one that has ever been before or will come after. No one can speak with your voice, say your piece, smile your smile, or shine your light. No one can take your place, for it was yours alone to fill. Because you are not here to shine your light. Who knows how many travelers will lose their way as they try to pass by your empty place in the darkness. We light this candle for Jason and for Rick. Get it, baby. This candle is in honor of our cousins, Morris J. and Carolyn. And this candle is for all of our loved ones, everyone that's gone so much too soon. As you light your candles, please join us in a moment of silence to remember those who really should be here with us today.
Well, Brand, you're not alone. got our candles here. We move them out of the way so I don't catch on fire either.
Yeah, we've got enough fire going on right now.
Yeah, I do enough smoking it up, like I said, with my barbecue, my grilling too. So, hey, I know I'm speaking for myself and all of us watching. There's many comments that I'm seeing up here. That we appreciate everything that you're a part of and what you do. As always, my big embrace. I love you. You know, big hug for you. Love you both, and we love you all. So, have a wonderful time. Yeah. Okay. I have my tissue beforehand, so I'm ready. I'd like to take a moment to offer some thanks to our community now. Thank you for the fundraisers. Our walk chair, Emily Lideau. Thank you so much, Emily. We have definitely increased and gotten better since you took over my role. And I love what I do now. Like you said, I love this. All of our awesome committee members and volunteers. I mean, there's so many of us out here. This is that time when we usually stand up, but I have them all give some appreciation. So even right now, give some applause on the comments for everybody who puts out for this. We're not stopping. Nobody's alone. We're going to continue. And I look forward to hopefully everybody being out there next year. I know at this time, let's see here. So as of this morning, I seen it was at 63,000. Andy's jumped up on here.
I do. Sometimes I love jumping up, not only to celebrate and appreciate the moment that Bren shared with us in that really powerful moment of silence, which I think was outstandingly intense. I also want to just jump in for a moment because we do have our honor bead ceremony to celebrate those who have sent in photos as well. And so before we transition into talking about some of the fundraising this year, I did want to take a moment to continue our remembrance and continue our honor and our hope. So if everybody could join me in celebrating the honor bead ceremony. So as we navigate the Hope Bead ceremony, there were some outstanding photos and memories that we were able to share. Again, we encourage people to continue to submit photos. If you're watching today on afsp.org SF, so if you're watching on the main walk page, the form is down near the bottom. I encourage you to continue submitting. We will continue to add to this. And we will release the sort of entire video at the end of walk season, at the end of Out of the Darkness season, so that we can all share in the experience of our Hope Bead ceremony together this year. So Dave, thank you for letting me jump up with you while we're in this very powerful moment of remembrance. It's an honor to share this screen with you.
You said we got some years to go. I'm enjoying it. Thank you very much. So then we'll jump back into it. So at this time, I just went and checked too. So as of right now, our San Francisco experiences raised just over $63,000. Please remember, you can continue to raise funds until December 31st at 11:59 and 59 seconds. And we'd love to see this event grow every year. I know this is definitely a different and challenging year. So I appreciate everybody for being here. Again, so many wonderful comments coming out for bead ceremony, for the candles, and all your loved ones. Keep them coming. It's greatly appreciated. Now I'd like to invite one of our wonderful event committee members, the legendary Maureen Sullivan, to offer acknowledgement of the top 10 fundraising teams. Plus, Emily is going to join in a few to give some additional fundraising acknowledgements. Hi, Maureen.
Hi, Dave.
Nice shirt.
Nice shirt. You got a nice shirt.
Wonderful.
Nice beads too.
And I love those colors going on. Wonderful.
A lot of colors. A lot of colors.
Much love to you. Go get them. Let's see who's doing the top raising this year.
Yes. So thank you for all of you who did some crazy fundraising in the last couple of days. We've jumped up 7,000 in the last 3 days. And so that's changed the order of how who was in our top 10. And we had to expand it because so many of you did so well. So I think Emily has my top 10. Please, Emily. So our top fundraising teams, as I mentioned earlier, have switched around a little bit. And so we're recognizing not just the top 10, but pretty much, I think, every team that raised over $1,000. And we'll start with those that, well, here we go. Ruben Chip Santos, Breaking Stigmas, Team Warren, hashtag So Here Right Now, Team Josh, in remembrance of Jeffrey Napier, Becoming, and 4 Jacks. Now, on to the top 10. Number 10, Notre Dame Belmont High School. Go Tigers. Number 9, Team Holy Innocents. Woohoo. Number 8, UCSF. Number 7, Tri-Valley Stars. Number 6, our own SF Bay Area Chapter Friends. Woohoo! And next, coming out of nowhere, overnight, breaking into the top 10, we have number 5, Team Crackfinder. Number 4, Ajit. Number 3, Maddie Loves You. Number 2 raised over $6,000 in honor of Fiona Mitsuoka. And in first place, with only 1 team member and raising over $7,000. It's crazy. We have Brittany Elko, and Derek's Krispy Kreme and vinegar team. As we saw in the comments, he liked to drink vinegar. Thank you so much for all of your support, and let's keep fundraising until December 31st, or at least a little bit more. You got this. And Emily is going to recognize some of the top individual fundraisers who are not a member of a top team.
Thanks for bringing me up here. Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here today, and thank you for all you've done to support AFSP and our cause so far this year. Like Maureen said, I'm going to reiterate a little bit of it. We thank our top teams for your incredible fundraising efforts. Like she mentioned, our plan was originally to acknowledge the top 10, but some of these teams came so close. We didn't want to leave anybody out, and we had to bump it up to the top 17. And we had so many changes overnight. Y'all were raising money while we slept. You're rock stars, and we thank you. And while we're recognizing teams, we would be remiss not to acknowledge the individuals who are fundraising outside of a team. These next few folks raised over $1,000 each. So I want to say thank you, Danny Wisuji, thank you, Melissa Evans, and thank you, Alana Fallon. I wish we had time to recognize each and every one of you incredible humans, but please know that the efforts of each and every one of you are appreciated, and yeah, glad to have you as part of our AFSP family. Be well, everybody.
Wow. Thank you, Maureen and Emily. Some great fundraising going on out there. Everybody keep it up. So appreciated. It is tough. Year after year, I'm continually amazed. So I'll keep it all going. You got some great comments coming. Awesome news. Thank you, Emily and Maureen. Couldn't do it without you all. So next, we'd like to bring up, what do we got going on here now? See, so I'm making the program go too long. I got to get going here. Next, we'll hear from AFSP's Chief Medical Officer, Christine Motier, to share her message of hope. Brief little message. Bring it on.
This is Christine Moutier, Chief Medical Officer at AFSP, and I hope for a day when there is no shame or stigma associated with any type of mental health experience, so that we can live our true, authentic selves in the world around us.
Wow. Like Christine, we're all hopeful for the day when the stigma around mental health and suicide are brought out of the darkness. As our community continues to walk that path, we want you to remember you are not alone. We got so many comments here.
Suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in the United States. In 2018 alone, there were 48,344 Americans who died by suicide. On average, there are 132 suicides per day. But you're not alone. Whether you have struggles with suicide yourself or have lost a loved one, know that you are not alone. While the Out of the Darkness Walk is going to look different this year, our mission to save lives and bring hope to those affected by suicide has not changed. We are a strong and resilient community, united in our effort to fight suicide, raise awareness, educate our communities, support those who have lost loved ones, and support those with lived experience. We use our voices and share our stories to provide hope. The Out of the Darkness Walk unites a community, a time to acknowledge the ways in which suicide and mental illness have affected our lives and our loved ones. Thank you for joining us here today to remember those affected by suicide.
Yeah, that's one of those that gets me every time. You know, even with now, I mean, life matters to me. So with that, I know we all miss seeing everyone in San Francisco this year. We're hopeful we'll be able to do it again next year. Well, do in person next year. I like to see all the lives that I get to see, the wonderful phrases on here. We can jump in some names, GGG Unit, Led Zeppelin, all these great names. I'm so appreciative. Top Team, what a name. Krispy Kremes. Wow, my dog, he just devours that stuff every time. Let us just know next year we're going to share our memories. We're going to grieve. We're going to also laugh, give some hugs, real hugs, not these ones that everybody gets. We're going to show some resilience. We are stronger together. But before we go our ways until next year, I want to let everybody know, please, like we stated previously, check in with the people around you, especially if you notice something is wrong. Their behaviors change a little bit. Avoid rushing to judgment. Instead, ask them to have a real conversation. Leave open-ended questions. Ask them. Let them know you're available to listen, help out. Ask them directly. Are they thinking about suicide? It's a difficult question. It might feel tough being direct, but it provides an opportunity to them to open up and talk and feel. I mean, feel is the biggest one. I know that when Karen and I started this, the first year, 2006, is when Kevin Hines shared his story. Incredible what that man's done now with his life. So, and he just wanted to feel. So, again, until next year, be open, be safe, keep talking. Yeah. Woo! Look at everybody. Love everybody. Keep going. See y'all next year. Create hope.
Thank you, everybody. This was really incredible event to get to be a part of. I'm honored and humbled. Thank you.
Hat off, everybody. Love you.
We love you. We'll see you soon.
Okay. I am going to switch.
You're all stars.